Where we lock and load. Where we lock and load. Allen Pals. It's the Allen Pals Show. Where we lock and load. It's the Allen Pals Show. Where we lock and load. It's the Allen Pals Show. Where we lock and load. It's the Allen Pals Show. Where we lock and load.
Welcome to another edition of the Allen Powell Show. We are live on a Wednesday night. Got a locked and loaded show for you tonight. We will have an interview with Professional Hoops Association guard Jermaine Humphrey as the league gets ready to debut on the 18th and 19th of July. We continue to bring you players that's going to be in the league and get a chance to know them a little better. But we got NBA news that's popping off all over the place, and a few things I want to discuss as far as these NBA stories. So the first one I want to talk about is Chet Holmgren got the extension. Got a big rookie max extension. They just coming off a championship, so he cashes in with the rookie deal worth up to $250 million. I think it's $239, but it can go all the way up to $250. Now, I'm not mad at my man getting his money, but my question is this going to eventually hurt the Thunder? Because if you just look at it, Boston Celtics, they won a championship. They paid everybody. Jalen got his money. Tatum got his money. Derek White got his money. Drew Holiday got his money. And then Tatum blew his Achilles. And then they traded everybody. And so while it looks on the surface that this is a good deal, good move for OKC, keeping their core together. They young. They got a chance to win multiple championships. But that luxury tax is nothing to play with. It's nothing to play with. Boston just had to break up everything. Once you get one injury, all of that goes out the window. So I like that they paid him. They still got to pay Jalen Williams next. They just paid SGA $285 million for 4 years, the MVP. You get that. You got to pay him. I get it. But if Jalen Williams is the next best player, did they actually have to pay Chet Holmgren this money? Listen, I understand it. He's young. You want to keep the core together. But this reminds me of what just happened to Boston. And then I even look at Denver when they won a championship. You start to lose some of the role players. Denver won a championship. They couldn't keep KCP. Then they lost Bruce Brown. And then you look up, they haven't won since. And so the question is, are they going to be able to continue to win? Eventually, is this contract going to catch up with them? Because eventually, you got to pay Jalen Williams. You're going to have 3 players on max contracts. And then the key is going to be those role players. Those role players are going to be the key. And if you don't have those role players, they are very important. Very important. Very important. So you cannot lose the Lou Dorts, the Carusos, the role players that played huge roles and you winning the championship. Can't do it. You need those players. So eventually I think those players, Lou Dort is going to get paid somewhere else. And they might have to lose him. They might have to sacrifice him. So while I think it's a good move, for Chet to get his money, of course, but on the surface, it looks like you have to pay this money. My question is, are they paying on potential, though? Because Chet 7'1", blocking a lot of shots. He's still young, early in his career. And so maybe they're paying on potential. He has the potential to be even better than what he was this year. So, and that's the thing. But as a GM, what do you do with that? You can't pay everybody. That's one thing I know. You cannot pay everybody. But they chose to pay Chet, and then they're going to have to pay Jalen Williams next. And then I think after that, they're going to be kind of maxed out. And then that's when it's going to get real. It's going to get kind of rough. So what do y'all think about this extension? Did they have to do it? Could they have tried to finagle away or make them wait? Or could they have done anything? Or did they have to just pay this money to Chet Holmgren? Because Jalen Williams is the second best player on that team. He's the second best player on that team. And they got to pay him next. That's one I think you have to pay. You have to pay him. But Chet, he's the third wheel, the third option. Did they have to pay the third option a max deal? I mean, when people win championships, everybody wants their money. It just so happened he was up. He was up next. But like I say, if you want to win multiple championships in this day and age with the salary cap restrictions, the luxury tax, the aprons, and all of this stuff, I think it's going to be real tough for teams to win multiple championships. They got a stat that say the last 7 championships been 7 different teams. So what's the formula to winning multiple championships back-to-back, three-peats, things of that nature? What's the formula? Because it seems like with this luxury tax thing, it's going to be hard to do. It's going to be hard to do. Are they going to be able to keep the Lou Dorts and the Alex Caruso's around, the Wiggins around? Are they going to be able to keep those guys? Because now I will say this, OKC did look out for themselves with accumulating plenty of draft picks throughout the times, the Paul George trade and getting SGA and, you know, the Westbrooks, and they've accumulated assets. And so I'm pretty sure they still got first-round draft picks coming up that maybe they can bring into the system to do well. But I just wonder about this contract. I wonder about this contract. Is it going to eventually hurt the OKC Thunder? Because the role players is going to be due up next. That's the question I have. What do y'all think about the extension? Was it the right thing to do? Did they have to do it? Y'all put it in the comments. We'll be getting to the comments and talking about what y'all think. Make sure y'all share the live. Y'all people can see it. They can comment as well. And talk about this Chet Holmgren contract. I think it's 5 years for $250 million. You add that up with Shai's contract, that's over $500 million already. Over $500 million. So we got Go James Kingdom checking in. Peace out. Shout out to Go James Kingdom. If you're not subscribed to their channel, go subscribe to their channel immediately. They are growing out of control. That's the platform where they talk about the GOAT debate, and they believe that LeBron James is the GOAT. So if you're in agreement or if you want to debate them, they always invite people to debate them for sure. So thank you for checking in, my brother. Thoughts on the Chet Holmgren contract? $250 million, fully guaranteed, $239, worth up to $250. And I'm a little leery about it. Are they paying on potential? I mean, Jalen Williams got to get paid. He's on deck. He's next. He's next. Are they going to be able to keep everybody? Because I don't think so. The last champion, the Boston Celtics that did this, they had to break up the squad. As soon as the injury happened, they broke up the squad. And we're going to talk about them later because Brad Stevens made some comments about the state of the Boston Celtics. And I'm curious to hear y'all thoughts on that. Also, Nikola Jokic. Jokic says he's going to delay his extension with the Nuggets. And so it's possible nothing, but I also wanted to know, is it possible that he leaves? He could have signed a new contract, I think 3 years, $200 million, but by waiting an extra year, he can add an extra year for $77 million. So from a money aspect, it seems like the right thing to do. But I think also he get a chance to see what Denver is going to do regarding the roster. Are they going to put a roster around him where he can compete for championships? So he didn't have to sign right now. He can wait, get more money, and see what Denver does. Because if for whatever reason they don't put a team around him, maybe he could leave. He could leave. I mean, this is the era where everybody got options. Everybody got options. They talking about Giannis might try to leave and go do something else. So he chose to delay. But is it a chance that he leaves Denver? Is it a chance? Now, on the surface, it doesn't look like Jokic is going anywhere. He looks like a guy that just want to stay put. He don't look like a guy that wants to travel team to team. But crazy things have happened. I didn't think a lot of players was going to leave. Dame eventually got tied in Portland. One what's the last, but I also want to know this. What's the last big white free agent you've seen leave a team? Last white superstar to actually leave a team and go somewhere else. Because he's the biggest, I would say, white superstar. Him and Luka. Luka got traded. But what big superstar white guy that in the prime of his career chose to leave a franchise he was with? I don't remember seeing that happening at all. So he can wait, add an extra year, an extra $77 million. And like I said, I think it's a win-win for Jokic. You get more money and you get a chance to see what the Nuggets are going to do. So far, we got Chet get signed by Oklahoma City. And then we got Jokic say he's going to wait. So far, what's your thoughts on the two different ways of going about business? Chet, you got to take the money when you can get it. You young, you just getting in the league, you take that money. But my question with that was, is it going to hurt OKC? I think it has the potential to hurt OKC down the line. This upcoming season, they might be okay. But probably after they sign Jalen Williams and they start hovering around that luxury tax apron and all of that stuff, that's when it's going to get sticky, as we've seen with the Boston Celtics. Y'all comment what y'all thoughts on the Chet Holmgren and Nikola Jokic contract situations. Chet got the bag, $250 million. Jokic says, I'm going to wait. He's going to wait and can add money, get more money. The money is steady going up. They are making ridiculous money. I know them old heads are mad. Them old heads mad, man. Go James says it costs to win. Yeah, that is true. And I heard and I watched your show. Y'all talking about the Lakers. I think you said that the Lakers weren't trying to win by getting rid of certain players. So you saying the Lakers wasn't paying the cost to win. And so I definitely watched your show on that. So that's interesting that you say that. Boston tried to pay to win, but it didn't work out for Boston. It didn't work out for Boston. Boston paid the money to their players and it didn't work out. So I think you got to kind of get creative sometimes. Are you the type that just says pay everybody, or do you try to be creative and like, okay, we can't sign everybody. Maybe we can bring in different players and still keep the core players and just bring in different role players. But we're seeing with Denver, when you lose those role players, it does something to the team. He said it costs even more to have a dynasty. I think it costs definitely now in today's age. I don't remember back in the Bulls days, Laker days, Celtic days. They didn't have these type of money issues. I don't believe they had these type of money issues where they was worried about, money. I don't think it cost them like it costs now. These owners do not want to be in that luxury tax, paying millions of dollars for being in that luxury tax. I don't even know if they had anything like a luxury tax back in those days. So I think it was easier to have a dynasty back in the old days opposed to now. I think it's harder to have a dynasty now. Matter of fact, I'll put it out there. I will put it out to the question. Is it harder to have a dynasty now? Because I think it is. If you have a dynasty now, I think you got to get creative. Maybe some people take some discounts to keep the core, to keep the dynasty intact. But I think it's definitely harder now. I don't think back in the old days they had to worry about that. I just don't think so. So those are the first two stories. I also want to talk about Mike Brown. We talked about him last week, but he got introduced as the head coach of the New York Knicks recently. And I went back and looked at the press conference. And then I said, you know what? I want to also look back at the press conference when he was the Kings coach. And I found some similarities. And I'm going to play it in a minute, but I want to get back to the comments. Go James Keenum said it is harder, pause. Contracts are shorter and more expensive. Absolutely. Definitely think it's harder, pause, now than it was back in the day, for sure. New York Knicks head coach Mike Brown. First of all, I'm just going to make the comment. I don't like this move for the Knicks. If I'm a Knicks fan, Johnny, I know your wife is a Knicks fan. I'm curious to know what she thinks about this move. I don't like this move for the Knicks. To me, Mike Brown, you can't convince me he's that much better than Tom Thibodeau. You can't convince me. He hasn't won a championship as a head coach. I thought Mike Malone would have been the more obvious hire, but they chose to go Mike Brown. Mike Brown does have championship as assistants, and he's coached some very big time players and all of that. I get it, but this don't move the needle for me. I'm not a Knicks fan, but I just don't think this does it. But like I say, I'm going to play part of his press conference for the Knicks, and then I'm going to play you part of the introductory press conference that he had with the Sacramento Kings because it's some similarities. So let's check out. This is the one from the Knicks, and I want you to listen to it, and then we're going to play the one from the Sacramento Kings. So here you go.
All the way down to the fans is to build a sustainable winning culture that produces championships. That's why I'm here. I'm fortunate to know what it takes to create that success. A lot of hard work, a high level of commitment, and a focus on today. Now, a lot of you guys are going to say, this sounds cliche, and it is, but we can't skip any steps. It's about one day, one practice, one shoot around at a time. The soul of our identity when it comes to culture is going to be based on a trust that's centered around sacrifice, a connectivity, a competitive spirit, and an overall belief in the process and each other. I'm looking forward to.
All right, that's enough for the first press conference. I can't even take no more. That's not it. I don't believe it. But okay, now. You seen that? Now let's go back to when he got introduced as the Kings press conference. The Kings head coach. Let's look at what he had to say then. Here we go. Very interesting, this press conference as well. Here we go. Let's see.
And that's having a winning culture. So my job is to lead in that area. Every organization out there, in my opinion, has a soul. And the stronger that soul is, the better that organization will be. A strong soul, in my opinion, equates to a winning culture. And there's three areas that I'm gonna really focus on to get that right. Three areas that I'm gonna lead in to get that right. The first one, there has to be a vertical and horizontal alignment of trust within all the units of an organization. It's not just about basketball. It's business side, it's the medical side, it's the players, it's the coach and staff. There's got to be a level of trust that's unattainable in most instances. The second area is there has to be a set of values. There has to be a set of values on the table that are led and upheld by the leadership of this organization, starting with me. Eventually, it'll get to the internal.
All right, that's enough. So y'all heard two things that stuck out to me in both of those press conferences. He talked about the soul, The soul of an organization. The soul. That's what he said. The soul. And he talked about trust. Now, if you go back to his tenure and with the Kings, he had one great year and then it went downhill. So did he build that culture that he was talking about with the Kings? What happened? If I'm the Knicks and I seen that press conference, then I look at this press conference he had with us, I said, hold on. This is the same thing he said with Sacramento. And for 1 year, coach of the year, got him to the playoffs. Great. But it wasn't sustainable. It did not continue. I'm not believing that it's going to continue with the Knicks. And it's going to be much more scrutiny in New York. That New York media is nothing to play with. They're going to run him out of town. I don't trust it. I don't believe it. What's the difference with what he said with New York than what he said with Sacramento? What's the difference? He said similar things. He talked about the soul, talked about trust. What happened to the soul in Sacramento? What happened? Because after that one good season, it didn't go so well. Did he build the trust in Sacramento? I don't see evidence to say that he did. He talked about winning year in and year out. It was not a long tenure in Sacramento. It was not. So if I'm New York, y'all got to get this right. New York is the second largest market in the States. They want to win now. And I was shocked that they chose Mike Brown. Because for me, that ain't it. That is not it. And y'all have the roster to compete for a championship now, especially with the injuries in the Eastern Conference. They have the ability to compete for a championship. Now, he might get lucky this first year because of so many injuries in the East. Might pan out for him. He might make the Eastern Conference Finals, might go to the finals. The East is going to be very up in the air, and they have the healthiest roster right now. Them, Cleveland, see what they're going to do. Orlando, I think, is going to come up. Detroit is going to come up. But on paper, New York might have the best team in the East. So if they stay healthy, he's going to be looking good. But if you're talking about a coach that's going to lead you for multiple years, I don't know. He just don't do it for me. I'm not sold on Mike Brown. I'm not. And I'm not a Knicks fan. So I wonder what the Knicks fans think. I am not sold at all. Is Mike Brown better than Tom Thibodeau? Because I don't know. I can argue and say he's not. I can argue and say he's not. They've both gotten Tibbs got to the Eastern Conference Finals. At least. I don't know. Did Mike Brown? Well, I know Brown did get to the NBA Finals with Cleveland. That was a long time ago, though. He hasn't been to the NBA Finals since then. And he had LeBron on that team. So was it LeBron or was it him coaching? I don't know. But I don't. Yeah, he's not moving the needle for me. So, but like I say, because of the injuries in the East, he might get away with it. He might get away with it. So, that's my thoughts on Mike Brown. The best to him, though. I hope him the best. I wish the best for him. But if I'm a Knicks fan, I'm a little leery. But it's a good situation. The East is wide open. Wide open. One more story I want to get to. Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens said he don't want to hear anything about a rebuild in Boston. That's cool that he says that. But what is he expecting the people to think when you trade away Porzingis? You trade away Drew Holiday. What are people to think? This is a team that helped you win a championship. And he definitely said it's all because of the luxury tax and the apron. Okay. But you trade those two. Tatum probably going to be gone for the season. You're left with Jaylen Brown, Derek White. And it's been speculation about whether Derek White will be traded next. So if you don't call that a rebuild, then what is it? Because maybe he think they can still compete because the East is going to be in limbo. But I can definitely argue and say you in a rebuilding phase for sure. I can argue that. I can definitely argue that. But for him to say he don't want to hear about it, do y'all think it's a rebuild in Boston? They did get Anthony Simons, a young player who can score a little bit. I think they can compete in the East. Looking on their roster, if you keep Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Anthony Simons, they lost Cornette, they lost Horford, I believe. FYL Sports Debates checking in. Thank you for checking in, my guy. He said he don't want to hear nothing about a rebuild, but and like he might get away with it because of the injuries in the East. He might can say that. They might not be rebuilding. They might be retooling. It could just be a retooling year. I wonder how far they can go, though. I'm going to bring in my guest now, Mr. Jermaine Humphrey, Professional Hoop Association guard. Jermaine Humphrey in the building. Thank you for tuning in, my brother.
Hey, man, how you doing, man? It's good to be here.
Thank you for coming on, man. Before I get to you and your career, I don't know if you've been keeping up with some of the stories in the NBA, but I just want to get your quick opinion if you've been paying attention. Chet just signed an extension for $250 million. OKC coming off the championship. But my question is, will it eventually hurt OKC? Because we've seen when Boston paid all their players, it didn't work out. They ended up having to trade Drew Holiday, Porzingis. Tatum got hurt, and they wanted to get under the luxury tax. So now OKC, they got to pay Jalen Williams. They just paid SGH, and now they paid Chet $250 million. Do you think this is going to eventually hurt OKC, or did they had to do this?
I mean, you look at it both ways. I mean, they can go over the tax with players they drafted, so it might help to keep that core big three of J-Dub, Shea, and Chet. Though I definitely seen it and was like, that's a lot of money, though. Like, it's a lot of money for him being young. Well, I think he's like 22. He's been in the league for like 4 years.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's been in the league long to really be worth $250 million. But they must see something we don't. And one thing about OKC organization is they just always been known to have a great organization. They're always building a great team, putting a great team around that franchise. So I trust them pretty, man. I think it's a good decision, though, maybe.
Okay. And I get that. And I was thinking, like, do you think they're paying for potential? Or do
They got to be.
Yeah.
They got it because, like I said, he's hurt his whole rookie season. I think he played, his first season was last year, and I think this is his second year actually playing. So it's like, it has to be potential because we haven't seen much of Chet. It just so happened that they got good fast, and he's part of your core. You don't want to get rid of that. You feel me? You don't want to get rid of your core. So if I could pay him now and wish for the best, like, if everything don't work out, you just trade him. Like, I still feel like it's going to be worth something throughout the trade if he doesn't turn out to be what they need. But as of right now, I think OKC's good. They're coming off the championship.
Yeah.
Basically bringing the whole team back, so they don't have nothing to worry about. I'd say in the current future, they don't have a problem, but in the near future, that could be an issue.
Gotcha. And then one other story I want to ask you about. New York Knicks chose Mike Brown as their new head coach. For me, I didn't like the move. It don't move the needle for me. They recycling these coaches. Mike Brown ain't never do it for me. He ain't made the final since the Cleveland, the LeBron year. It don't do it for me. What do you think about Mike Brown as a new New York head coach?
I mean, with Mike Brown, he's a solid coach, but like you said, it doesn't move the needle. It's not like that brings championship prestige or like a winning coach or like a Rick Carlisle that done won before going to the Pacers. That can move the needle because championship coach. Mike Brown is just a solid coach. So yeah, I mean, for the roster they have, I think they're still gonna be competitive. They're still gonna be a contender. But do I think that gives them the edge? I don't think it gives them the edge.
I agree. I thought they should have got with Mike Malone, the former Denver Nuggets head coach. I thought he would have been a good choice. He's won a championship. I thought that would have been the right move, in my opinion. What you think about that?
I mean, that would have been cool. You could have got what's I think Mike Taylor, right? The Grizzlies
Yeah,
coach.
yeah, yeah,
There's a lot of good coaches out there that need jobs. And I don't know, maybe it's also, not a lot of black coaches, so I don't know if they were trying to hire him because of that, be different, try to show that side instead of just keep hiring white coaches.
yeah.
But, it's always more to a signing than what we see. You know what I mean? So I think it's something behind the scenes that we just don't know.
Right, right. I agree. Also, man, I'm still waiting for Mark Jackson to get a new opportunity. He getting blackballed for whatever reason.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying.
yeah. So, well, we'll see what happens. I think Mike Brown might get away because the injuries in the Eastern Conference, Tatum, Halliburton, he might mess around and go to the finals. He got the healthiest team, but long term, I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, I think they can sneak. I think like this year, the East is gonna be real sneaky. I'm a Bucks fan. So we haven't won in 4 years, and we just haven't been healthy. But I feel like we could bring a healthy roster this year. We can go back to the finals. Also, I like the Knicks. I like a lot of teams. I like the Magic if they can come with a team. I like Detroit. So to that point, yeah, I think the East is very open. I think this next year is gonna be a very open league. I don't think the West is for sure. I like Dallas when Kyrie gets healthy. I still like the Lakers with the moves that they made.
Yeah.
And OKC, you can't count them out. And then Ant been balling. You still got Jokic out there, so I feel like now with the second apron, it made the league more open.
Yes.
I understand we're not gonna get the super teams we wanted. We're not gonna get those big threes, but feel like now it's a chance for anybody to go get a ring now.
And Houston with KD, they're gonna have
I
something.
forgot Houston. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of good teams. I like a lot of the moves that have been made so far. It's I don't think it's been major moves, but it's been a lot of detailed and specific moves to teams.
Got you. Yeah. Let's go ahead and talk about you, man. Your career, man. I was watching some highlights of you earlier, getting buckets, man.
Yeah.
I'm curious of how you came up, got started with basketball. So each week we've been debuting, introducing players that's going to be playing in the Professional Hoops Association coming July 18th and 19th, written by a center, Hammond, Indiana. Jermaine Humphrey will be there. So I want to get to your story. How did you when did you start playing basketball? Who got you into basketball and when did you start playing?
So my crazy real story, I say so my whole life I always played the game of basketball, just the game. But being actually a sport, I was a late bloomer when it came to basketball. My first time ever playing basketball, I was 7 or 8 years old, and it was in a little youth league called Hesville Youth Hoops. And the first time I ever played, my team, we won a championship. We won a tournament. First place in the tournament, won a championship that year. So first getting introduced to basketball, I was a winner. But after that, I didn't play again till 7th grade year. I just never was a real athlete. My first one I ever played was football. I played that the first 2 years before I played basketball.
Right.
So I never really wanted to play basketball. I just always wanted to really want to get back into football. But even after that, I tried wrestling. I just tried a lot of things. I never just stuck to basketball.
Yeah.
Tried out again 7th grade, and I was just wasn't that good. I played a little bit, but wasn't that good. Then played again until my freshman year of high school, where I gained a little more skill. And after that, I didn't play no JV, no varsity. I just, played at the park. So I really taught myself. Nobody really got me into basketball. I taught myself, but I have a lot of influences that push me to go harder.
Yeah.
Right. So I went up.
So
you got a question?
Yeah. So you talked about football. I read in your bio that you played football. Was you better at football or basketball younger?
I was better at football just because. So me, both sports take skill, but I was able to get away with more of my athleticism in football. I was still kind of small growing up, so even though I was athletic, that can get me so far with basketball if I didn't have the skill to match my athleticism. While if I'm faster than you in football, that goes a long way. If I'm stronger than you in football, it goes a long way. So actually growing up, I was better at football. I really liked football more than basketball because, like I said, I didn't have the skill that match. Like I was always a natural athlete. Like even in high school, I was the varsity quarterback my senior year, and I ran track my senior year. I was the captain on the track team. So it's always been like a natural athlete. Basketball came to me late though.
Okay. Okay. So if basketball came to you late, what is considered late for you? Like how late did it come for you?
So I mean, I was good in high school, but like really college is when like met a like I'm gonna shout him out, Jawan Dye. I met a long time friend. I used to play with him at the Boys and Girls Club. We had reconnected my freshman in college. I went to a Division I JUCO. I wasn't playing or nothing. I was just a regular student. So I used
Okay.
to just be with him in the rec center, and we were just two talented individuals where the people at the team actually asked us to try a few times. We just never did because we just like wasn't taking it serious. But like actually going into a work, but we would like work out every day and him working me out and stuff like
Yeah.
that pushed me to be like, I'm pretty decent at this. Let me try it out. So we ended up transferring from that school. I ended up going to actually went to Calumet College in St. Joseph where we be playing at. And walked on. I emailed the coach and was like, "Hey, I want to try out." And so me and my friend come to a tryout, and then we went to came to practice. We came to practice. They was already mid-season. I
Yeah.
came late in December. Mid-season, came to a practice. They let us practice, and they liked what I showed, and I've been playing basketball ever since. So like, yeah, I didn't start
Wow.
really training and taking basketball seriously like 18, 19. That's why I say like it's crazy because I never really pictured myself. I never really wanted to like be a basketball player. So I like football. Then when I did start playing, even now I didn't picture myself being a pro where I'm at now. Like I always knew like, well, I'm good at basketball, but I can't see myself being a pro. So
Yeah.
I changed to wanting to be a coach, right? So I always thought of a mind of coaching. When I graduate, I'm going to be a coach. When I graduate, I'm going to be a coach. Like it
Yeah.
was, I never seen my full potential. Like I always knew I was good, but there's other
Yeah.
people that brought it out of me. So like, yeah, but yeah, that's how I started. I actually started at Calumet. They gave me my opportunity.
Yeah.
Uh, didn't stick here. I mean, our timelines didn't match, but yeah, Calumet is where I started my basketball career. Like for real, for
That's
real.
that's very interesting. You the first person that was a late bloomer, so to speak. Everybody else, young, junior high, high school,
Yeah,
they was like, yeah, I got something here. But that's very interesting that you had to go a different route. He came to
nah,
you late.
yeah.
So I'm imagining, like you say, you going playing for college, and was it a certain coach or what? Like you say, was it like your players that pushed you, and then you start recognizing like, oh snap, I got something.
Yeah, so it's a funny story, right? So,
Yeah.
like I said, when I first got to Calumet, we had a lot of seniors. We wasn't like a young team because, like I said, COVID happened. So, a lot of young players wasn't trying to go to a team that wasn't that good, and the season was a starter. So he did have like a lot of older players, but me not really being playing basketball. I only played from a
Yeah.
freshman team. So coming to college, these guys were probably the best guy on the high school team, but they went JUCO, the top player on their JUCO team. I'm like, I bet I was a little nervous at practice. Sometimes I'd be scared to dribble. And I had a friend named Karan McKinney. We're
Yeah.
very good at that. Call him my brother. We're like one day he would see my talent. So I used to be afraid to dribble. Sometimes I get the ball stolen, and he like tell me like it was like we had a relationship where he could yell at me, and I understood like okay I gotta lock in. So he was like, man, stop playing around, go dribble the ball.
Right.
So one
Right.
day he had said that, and somebody was guarding me like real tight, real aggressive. And I hit him with a move and I made him fall and we ended up scoring
Whoa.
on the play. Yeah, I
Yeah.
practiced. So then it was like, yeah, it was like the other guys pushed me like really seeing where now I always had confidence, but not like my confidence is extreme because I seen other people believe in me to where a point where like finding believing in myself is crazy because too many other people believe in me. So yeah, the
Right.
people being around me, even coaches, like even the coach that gave me the opportunity was Gary Hayes. Real respect the coach from where I'm from and on the high school level and at the college level. Uh, Giving me the opportunity. Like even when I remember one day I had a good practice. I had a little we was running a play and I hit a three in the corner. He came to me the next day like I see you getting comfortable with the flow.
Yeah.
I see you making a shot. So like even hearing that from that coach, it was like that. Like it's a lot that yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. So it was that it was like that one move that made him fall. Like, oh snap.
Yeah, like,
I
oh maybe I might be nice.
had to embarrass somebody real quick to bring it out of you. Like, okay, I
Nah,
got
yeah,
something
yeah,
here.
that's yeah.
So coming up, so if you was a late bloomer, did you even watch basketball a lot coming up?
I mean, I watched it a few times. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, I watched basketball. I mean, it was like one of the biggest things. Like, I still was a basketball fan. I just wasn't playing it, so
Okay.
I didn't think I was good enough. But I watch those players and stuff. I watch a lot of players. Yeah.
Who was your favorite player growing up? If you was watching.
I'll say without really tilting to basketball, like obviously first person, I'll say the first two people that really got me into basketball was D Wade and LeBron, right?
Okay.
I don't know why I just liked the D Wade. I think it was from being on Miami. Then like when Brian kind of went to Miami, I kind of started tuning in him, and I kind of like started liking how he played the game and how he like killed on every level of the game and every aspect of the game. But
Right.
like, when I started tuning into basketball for real, my favorite player became Giannis Antetokounmpo today. Till today, that's my favorite player to watch. Like, just favorite player in the NBA is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, I started liking him around like 2015, 2016. That's when I really started paying attention to basketball. And I just seen like one time the Bucks had a sixth level point guard. So I'm like, who is this guy? I did my research, actually started watching his game and seeing how he developed. Like, kind of, he was a late bloomer too.
Yeah.
So like being able to relate to that and just watching him grind and become the player he is today. Yeah, just like even watching him win the championship, like, I would never thought that I was gonna be able to watch my favorite player win the championship in a small
Right.
market. So
Right.
yeah, that's my favorite player, and just seeing that's also like been more motivation for me too.
That's dope. That's dope. So because you was a late bloomer, I'm curious to see once you figured out like you got something here as a late bloomer, did you try to mimic your game after you found out like, oh, I got something here? Did you try to mimic your game after anybody after you found out that like, okay, I can play this game?
Yeah, I mean, like realistically, yes. Like when I kind of started knowing, I was like, when I knew I was kind of okay in high school. Like I said, I watched a lot of Brian D. Way, like bigger guards, but faster guards. But that's like kind of how I play. Like I was athletic, focused on defense and like moving the ball and being like a passer. That's why I
Yeah.
say Brian. I watched D Wade for the athleticism and how he used his body control. But then like
Yeah.
when I got to college and realized like, oh, I'm not gonna be 6'4", 6'8", or I can't be that. I started watching a lot of smaller guards or like
Yeah.
defensive minded guards. So that's when I started watching like Chris Paul, Drew Holiday, like Alonzo Ball, like real point guards. I like to watch Darius Garland because he's a small guard and how he
Yeah.
facilitates, but also being able to score while facilitating. So those are
Yeah.
some of the guys like smaller guards or defensive based guards or just playmaker guards. I don't watch a lot of scoring guards because not my skill set. I leave that to like I always like telling people I love playing with scorers because I'm going to facilitate the ball. So if you want to go get 30, I'm your best friend because I'm going to give you
Right.
the ball to go get
Right.
30. If I get 15 assists and you have 30, I had a good day. You feel me? I don't need to score 20, 30. I'm cool with a little 8 and 7, 8 and 5. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I started watching a lot of point guards as I got older and got into college. But yeah,
So
I grew
you
up watching a lot of. Now go ahead.
so would you consider yourself a pass first point guard for sure?
Yes, I'm definitely fast first. Like that's I realized that even like I kind of developed into a fast first guard by playing like at the park because knowing like I said I was always decent and athletic, so I get picked up. But knowing I was playing with people better than me, I had to have the ball because I wasn't scoring. Like and I had to do something to stay on the court because if you're not scoring, you either got to play defense or you got to do something else, or they're not gonna keep picking you up. So
Yeah.
I just played a lot of defense, and I knew how to get them the ball where they wanted it to, where they like, okay, I like playing with him because he know where I want the ball at, or
Right.
he gonna play
Right.
hard on defense. So
Right.
that developed into me maturing and more to as a well. Now I'm a point guard, a college point guard. It's like I see the floor differently now, rather than I'm
Yes.
just making a
Yes.
pass to make a pass. I'm leading you to the pass now instead of just passing you the ball. Like now it's like,
Yeah.
oh, the ball is in my hand. I didn't think I was gonna get the ball. So that's where a lot of my skill developed just from the park. And just like side note, I think that's what we need to get back to is pick up, open gym. Like I
Yeah.
did play a lot of that. Like I said, I already played the game of basketball, but like when
Yeah.
we talk about school, physically I didn't do it. But like being outside and competing with some of the guys I was at high school, the top guys in high school, or some guys I went off to college and came back home and competing with them,
Yeah.
that's what got me where I'm at today. So
That's good
yeah.
stuff, man. We got Professional Hoops Association guard Jermaine Humphrey live on the Allen Pals, getting to know a little bit about him. He will be in the building July 18th and 19th, performing Friday and Saturday. Rittenmeyer Center, Hammond, Indiana. Y'all make sure y'all get y'all tickets to come out and see this guy perform. This is to me, you got an old school mindset, pass first point guard, like a head coach, extension of the head coach on the floor. And we don't see a lot of those. I think once the Steph Curry era came, the scoring point guards, it's not a lot of floor generals. And it seems like you more of a floor general than the scoring point guards.
Yes, and it's ironic you say that because growing up light skinned, everybody will always compare me to Steph, like
Right.
Steph Curry. For a little bit, I mean, also because my freshman year I was light skinned and I wore 30. That was around the same year Steph became the MVP. That was my freshman year was 2015, 2016. So that was his unanimous MVP year. So because I was light skinned wearing 30, people compare me to him a lot. But it's like I never compared myself to him. I never watched Curry for as I got older, I watched Curry because he moves off the ball wheel. But I never wanted to be like Curry. Like I said, I grew up off the older style of basketball while watching Chris Paul, John Wall, Derrick Rose, like Russell Westbrook. Those are the guards I grew up off of watching for real. Like I wasn't really tuned into Steph Curry. So it's ironic you say that because I did used to get compared to him a lot just off appearance. But I never really watch his game and can manipulate that. And I was athletic too. So once I was like a shooter for a little bit. Like I sat in the corner, but once I was able to learn to dunk, I left the 3-point line.
Let me ask you this: What would you say your biggest strength as a player?
My biggest strength as a player?
Yes.
Just defense and just like I said, I like kind of what you said, being a floor general, being an extension of the coach, like just being able to lead the troops. I feel like that's what it is. Like I feel like it's like my intangibles that makes me stand out. Like I said, I have skill, but I'm not the most skilled. I'm not the tallest. I'm not the most athletic, even though I'm athletic. But it's me being able to use all this and captivate guys to play hard or listen and get them to the spot. I think that's my greatest strength. It's just my intangibles and my leadership.
Nice. I like it. Like I said, you giving me some old school vibes. You talking defense. Ain't a lot of people talking defense around here, man. Like, people want to score. Like, it's not a lot of defense being played, especially in the professional ranks. Like, they want to get up and down. It's not a whole lot of people that want to. Defense is a want to, in my opinion. You got to want to play defense. And to hear you say that, man, it brings a smile to my face. Real.
I mean, my mindset was always like, it's easy to play defense, to be honest. Like, I always thought, low-key scoring, it's kind of hard, having to get past somebody. You got 5 people you got to worry about trying to score. You use a lot of energy rather than defense. It's just I got to slide my feet and make sure you don't get in front of me. And I feel like it's more alive than and you're going to be more mad if I drop 20 on you or if I shut you down for 2 points or 0 points. You feel me?
Yeah.
It affects the game more if I'm playing defense because, if you're not scoring, now your mental not there rather than, you feel me? If I'm scoring, it's like, you feel me? I'm just scoring rather than you think about the game more when you can't score rather than when you're scoring, it's just coming to you. You feel me? If I'm stopping you from scoring, you're more worried about why I'm not getting my shots or what I got to do to put the ball in the basket. So defense has always been my mindset. And I don't know, I also feel like I said, I'm from Chicago, and I feel like that's just a mindset where I grew up from. I grew up in Hammond, Indiana, though, but I was born in Chicago, so playing with the Chicago guys, that's all they do. We press, we gonna play fast. So I also have to keep that mindset too for the area I grew up in. It was defensive minded,
Yeah, that's good.
But
stuff,
nowadays
man.
everybody want to score. But defense has always been my mindset.
That's good stuff, man.
Also to add too, though, is
go ahead.
I was gonna say also that, like I said, that's what kept me on the park. When I played at the park, you gotta guard somebody. You feel me? You're not scoring, so you gotta guard. So I will always take it upon myself to guard the best player. That's what I used to always get picked up for. So that's my last point. But that's how defense got to steal the lead.
Listen, man, defense will always get you on the court. I know I heard a lot of players I even heard Barney just say it was like, I'm gonna have to make my imprint on the defensive end. And so it's a lot of players that gotta. Pat Beverly, I remember him saying that a lot of players got to make they money on the defensive end. But I want to get to some fun stuff with you. Once again, PHA guard Jermaine Humphrey. Let's get to some fun stuff. I read that your favorite artist is G Herbo. So my question is, I asked all my players is when you're getting prepared for a game, what do you have in your ear to get you ready for the game? Is it G Herbo or is it something else? Or what you listening to get ready?
See, I just have like a playlist on shuffle. It's not a specific song. Like I like to listen to like very positive songs. So like G Herbo got a few positive songs that keep me motivated, remind me
Yeah.
where I'm from, to know that I can be better than where I'm from.
Yeah.
Uh, Kanye West got a lot of songs like Flashing Lights. I like to listen to
Yes.
him, or a lot of few. So yeah, G Herbo, Kanye West, Lil Baby, like very positive rappers who talk about struggling but talk about being bigger than the struggle. I like to listen to stuff like that. I said I didn't come from much, so being able to hear that and tune into a game to know, okay, man, I might not be in the best position I am now, but after this, I will be. That's
Yeah.
the type of music I listen to.
G Herbo is in the playlist. I also read your favorite food are burgers. Your favorite food is burgers?
Yeah, I mean, like that's my go-to. I feel like any restaurant I go, people always make fun of me for it. Like even if I go to a buffet or like a Texas steakhouse, or I'm going to like a fancy restaurant, I'm always
Yeah.
ordering a burger because I feel like this is easy, and I know every place is gonna have a burger, so it's like it's
Yeah.
easy to get, easy to remember the order, and I just it's easy to eat too.
Yeah.
It's not too
Now,
much. You just hold it and eat it, so
I know you're a
you
young
get a
guy,
burger
so
anywhere.
I know you're a young guy, so you probably can still do that now. Is it sustainable long term? Eating a lot of burgers as far as a diet goes, is that sustainable long term?
Hey, if you know Ocho Cinco, I got that Ocho Cinco mindset,
I
man. If
do.
I'm killing
See,
and I'm eating them burgers, I'm
yeah,
not gonna stop my diet because you said it's better for me to eat something else. I've been doing this my whole life and killing this whole my life. So
that's a good
now,
point.
yeah, I think it's sustainable.
That's a good point. I did hear
Yeah,
Ocho talk about that. He said he ate it all the time, and that's why he said a lot of
yeah,
people get injured because they ain't eating thick enough. They ain't eating the meats. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I agree, man.
That's very interesting. Um, Also, I read your favorite movie, Ready Player One.
Yes, yes. So I'm
Tell me, I have never seen that movie. What is the movie about, and why is it your favorite?
uh, it's it's a movie. Basically, it's about like a virtual reality game, and it's one of my favorite movies just because of like the aspect of you could be anything within that game. So that mindset of just being anything that I want to be is what I like about the movie.
Okay, okay. Justin Campbell says Ready Player One is a good movie. I might have to go check it out now. I never seen it. I might have to go check it out.
Oh no, yeah, you got to. It has a lot of Easter eggs that I like. A lot of throwbacks to other old movies and other old video games, retro stuff. Like oh man, I heart. So I like a lot of retro games.
Okay, y'all giving me something to watch. So if that's your favorite movie, do you have a favorite actor?
A favorite actor? I don't think I have a favorite actor specific. I mean, I don't
Okay,
watch a lot of movies, but I got a few that like. I mean, that I know are talented. Like, if I know
okay.
Denzel in the movie is probably good. I'm a big Denzel guy. Like, I watch him.
Same.
I mean,
Yeah.
like newer actors that's kind of been doing their thing. I say Michael B. Jordan.
Okay, that's a good one. Like you say, for me, it's Denzel, hands down. He the GOAT for me. But Michael B. Jordan
That's
definitely
your
on the
gut.
come up. One of the best. One of the best.
Yes, sir.
Once again, PHA guard Jermaine Humphrey. Make sure y'all go check him out Friday and Saturday, July 18th and 19th, Riddemeyer Center, Hammond, Indiana. Get your tickets. Him and a whole bunch of other dope players are going to be performing. This is another question I ask all my guests that come on. A lot of people on this that's following and watching this show is from the GOAT James Kingdom YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, make sure y'all go subscribe to that channel. They do the GOAT debate on a regular basis. So I have to ask you, who is your GOAT, and give me your top 5 players of all time.
That top five gonna be a little tough though. But my goal for sure is LeBron. Like I said, that's who I grew up on. Uh, my reasoning behind him being a GOAT is just like I said, him being longevity and him being able to kill every aspect of the game. That's what I most took about his game was like really no flaw in his game. If I can give you a top five, uh, I go LeBron. I wouldn't go in order, but I am LeBron, Michael Jordan. I throw Kareem in there. That's my top three. The last two get a little iffy though.
You the second person that said that. The other guy said the same thing. The last two get a little iffy.
Because it's like, I don't know what to like value. Because like, I can go a little modern. You can throw Kobe in there.
Okay.
Throw your Magics in there. I don't know. I'm a big like. I read a book on this guy, so I've been big on him. But Wilt Chamberlain, like even like hearing his stats and what he did, and actually reading, I had read his book.
Yeah.
So I was a big kind of like Wilt Chamberlain guy, so I feel like I got to throw him in the top 5.
Okay, I like it, man. I like it. I don't like your goat choice, but that's okay. You know, I'm a team Jordan guy myself, but I understand you in the LeBron era, so I definitely understand.
I think that's just a battle of generations. Like I still respect Jordan and what he did, but yeah.
So I got my things about LeBron is him leaving multiple times, chasing the rings, and he didn't show up in the Dallas finals, and I got some little gripes with LeBron, So, but I ain't mad at people who says he's the GOAT. But for me, the GOAT, when the rubber meets the road, I need my GOAT to show up every time in the biggest moments, and I feel like Jordan did it in the biggest moments. So that's just me. And LeBron didn't show up a couple times. So that's just me. But that's another story for another day. But I ain't mad at your GOAT, LeBron. The people watching, they gonna like your pick as the GOAT. So Justin Campbell says, if he goes to Cleveland again and wins, would that change your mind? No. Him jumping to another team, why would that change my mind? But you know what? We're not even going to go back there.
Because that's a whole conversation.
It is. And like I say, if you want to have that conversation or you want to talk about that, go James Kingdom is where you go. They do a show every Sunday at noon. They go for about 3 hours. Sometimes talking about it, so it can go. But PHA guard Jermaine Humphrey, once again, check him out Friday, Saturday, July 18th, 19th, Rittenmeyer Center, Hammond, Indiana. Him and a whole bunch of other players are going to be showcasing their talents and doing their thing. This show is brought to you by Skippy's Crazy Aid. Skippy's Crazy Aid, you can get it in multiple locations. Gary, Indiana, Chicagoland Popcorn, Milton Road, Ray's Caribbean Jerk in East Chicago, and in Gary, on Lake Street, South Lake Street, you can get Crazy Aid Lemonade. Support them. They support the show. So make sure y'all go out and support Skippy's Crazy Aid. We got a YouTube comment. Shia, need that Jermaine Humphrey jersey ASAP. Somebody want a jersey, my guy. You got to get them that jersey. They want the jersey, brother.
Yeah, he gonna get it.
So once again, I appreciate you coming on. Before I head out, I always like to do a scripture of the day is something I might came across or read. And so today's scripture is Mark 11:24 and Galatians 6:2. I came across, I usually only have one, but I came across both of these and both of them kind of stuck out for me. So the first one, Mark 11:24 says, for this reason, I am telling you, whatever things you ask for in prayer, in accordance with God's will, believe with confidence, trust that you have received them and they will be given to you. And so the reason why this scripture stuck out to me, first of all, it says whatever thing you ask for, and this is the Amplified version. It's different versions. So when you look at the Amplified version, it says in accordance with God's will. So you can't be asking for crazy stuff if it ain't in God's will. That's one. That's one. But two, if it's in God's will, it says believe with confidence that you received it. And so that stuck out to me because it's saying that before you even get it, you got to act like you already got it. And so that's something that I'm working on personally. Like, it's stuff that I'm asking for to walk around and act like I already got it. And I know some people might like, yo, that sounds crazy. But everything in the Bible, it seems like it's counterculture. So they say walk by faith, not by sight. So that's another thing. Like, yo, before you see it, you need to have faith that you have it already. So that's me. It spoke to me, hopefully, that it does something for somebody else. If you asking God for something, if it's in his will, act like you already got it. Start just acting like you already got it before you see it. And that's what having faith is all about. The second scripture is Galatians 6:2. It says, Live creatively, friends. If someone falls into sin, forgivingly restore him, saving your critical comments for yourself. You might be needing forgiveness before the day is out. Stoop down and reach out to those who are oppressed. Share their burdens and so complete Christ's law. If you think you are too good for that, you are badly deceived. Now, that scripture stuck out for me because a lot of people like to criticize. A lot of people like to criticize. And so for me, if somebody falls short or you see them doing something wrong, it says forgivingly restore him. Don't save your critical comments for yourself. They don't need that. They already done fell down. They don't need your extra critical comments. You never know. You might fall. It says you might fall down before the end of the day and you might need some help. So be careful about being critical so quick. And then it says stoop down and reach out to those who are oppressed. Share their burdens. If you know somebody is going through something, reach out to them and try to get them an encouraging word or try to help them in a situation. And so when I heard that, I actually sent a text to my sister, just checking up on her, just to see how she's doing, because I know, you know, some people be going through stuff sometimes. And so I haven't talked to her in a while. And I was like, let me just send a text. Sometimes it can just be a simple text. If you know people's situation specifically and you know they're going through something, reach out to them, man. Share their burden. Maybe you can help them come out of that situation, man. So those are two scriptures for me. Mark 11:24, Galatians 6:2. That's my come to church scripture. It did something for me. Hopefully it encourages you. Once again, I want to thank Jermaine Humphrey for coming on the show. Thank you, my brother, for jumping on and being a guest today, brother.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me.
Before I get up out of here, man, I'm gonna get the last few comments. Goat James Kingdom says all the players in PHA have LeBron as their GOAT. Yeah. You're right. They have had LeBron. They all young too. This is the generation. So I know Goat James Kingdom was gonna like that. Justin Campus says, "Come on, preach out. Appreciate the support, brother. All the players PHA have been lied to."
Yeah.
Al, it's time for you forgive LeBron. Just kidding. Never. No, I'm not never rocking with LeBron. I'm Team Jordan all day, forever. That's it. That's all. So once again, brother, thank you. I look forward to seeing you. I will be there to come check you out. I'm gonna be doing color commentating, so you make sure you give me something to talk about, brother.
I'm gonna get you something to talk about then.
That's what's up. Other than that, man, thank you again. We'll see y'all next week. We are out.
We lock and load,
Thank you.
Allen Pants.